of what we're going to talk about around mindset. Thank you again. And I would like us to stand up. Let's stand up a bit. The room is getting cold. Let's stand up again. Energizer. Who can give us an energizer? Let's do this. You still want a cup of tea? It's at the back. Victoria, you didn't take a cup of tea? It's at the back. Okay, thank you very much. Have your seats. That without the action, you are wasting your time, then you start thinking. Okay? What will it take for you to become successful? What will it take for you to become successful? Do you know what it takes to be successful? Do we all know? This conversation is going to be very interactive, and I would like Edwin to be ready with your microphone just in case. And this video that we're supposed to watch and finish talks about all these beautiful things. But he also says your good intentions are nothing. Literally nothing. You're better off not even making any goal for yourself if you're not willing to put in the work. So, what will it take to make you successful? Opportunities? Is that what you need to be successful? Do you need people? Okay. Do we need education? Sometimes. Don't we have guys who have not studied and are powerful? But they lack something, yeah? That you do need. Okay? Do we need money?
Yes.
Talent?
Sometimes.
Okay, can we have some defense there? Tori, you said not sometimes? Not for everyone. Can you give us some explanation? Please move faster so that we can enjoy this conversation.
I think, or at least I believe, that not everyone's career or life path is based upon their talent. That's what I think.
Okay, all right. And that is interesting because then it speaks into the purpose conversation. Okay? Anyone else who thinks differently about
The world currently is competitive, so talent would be one thing that we'll have to also focus on, especially with the new generation.
Okay, it's part of the process or the component to it. Somewhere.
It's gifted. So meaning that everyone literally has a talent. Whether we know it or don't know it, it's a different conversation. But every one of us has that gift God has given them.
Good. Do we know our gifts? We are going to discuss that. Rachel?
Yeah, you can just take a decision to use your talent to become successful.
Okay.
Like all of us have the talent, but some choose not to.
So it's a decision.
Yes.
It's a mindset. Okay? All right. Do we need recognition to be successful? Things to be successful.
Yes.
Okay. Hard work.
Yes.
Must you work really hard to be successful?
Smart work.
Miss Faith, you have something to say? Must you work really hard to be successful?
Varies. You can work smart. You can want to work smart, but yet you're lazy. You might have that smartness in your brain, but you're a laid-back person, so you don't count yourself successful because opportunities can come and go because you laid back.
Do we need consistency? Yeah. Consistency? Okay. Luck. Do we need luck? Do you know that there are 4 types of luck? Do we know them? Hey, you ask me at the end. That's why. Time? Do we need time?
Yes.
To be successful?
Yeah.
Oh, what have we talked about? We've talked about consistency. Okay. So those things were about to help us understand what do you need to consider to start a journey of success. my assumption is that all of us in this room, we want to start the journey. We want to be successful. We are all starting the journey of being successful. Being successful for you, for your family, for your children, for your well-being, for your recognition. Being successful to live a comfortable life. You people, poverty is bad. Poverty is painful. When you have to ask for anything from people, you even fear. Unless someone is so close to you, you go and say, Maria, please help me with 10 million. You cannot ask. You fear. So it is in us to become successful. Okay, on to the next. I put this conversation up so they can guide us not to be all over the place. Having good intentions is not enough. I'm not saying don't make your goals. Make them, but it's not enough. You must have the zeal to stand up and act and put systems in place. Now, good intentions, there's a socket there which is disrupting me. But so, a good intention is to have a wish. You have a fantasy. You have an emotion. That's a good feeling. That's, But intentional living requires action. Are we together? We have purpose. And then you're active, you're disciplined, and you have the I will do it attitude. Most of you who have 9 to 5 or something, they ask you, please help me move this chair. That's not my responsibility. Let the junior staff come and do it. But when you're applying, you say, any other duty assigned to me, I will do it. I work better without supervision. But when they leave you alone for one day, you can't deliver. Are you being intentional? You want a promotion at work, but you're not putting in the work. Your business, you want it to take off, but you're the one who reaches to work at 10. How is it going to happen? Have you ever asked yourself why CEOs are the first ones in the office? Why the rich ones wake up or even work harder than us? Ever asked yourself why? Because once you get up there, it is easy to get there, by the way. My friend, keeping there, maintaining that status is the hardest. So if you're choosing to be successful today, know that it is work. But you can get there. But when you get there, if you've been working 2 times, you're going to work? Because it is difficult to go back and become poor. You've seen those stories in the village. Someone is very rich and they even die in the first 2 years. Because it is not easy to take in. So, good intentions are not enough. Let's move on. Now, I don't know if you're seeing, or is it the light? I don't know what it is. But there's a daily success journey in life. A daily success journey. I'm thinking it's light. Are you seeing anything? The daily success journey is you must first know the goal. Number 1, you must know the goal. What is your goal? What is your goal in life? For example, what is your goal for 2024? Someone tell me, if you don't mind sharing. What is your major goal for 2024? Who doesn't mind sharing their goal for 2024? And we break it down for you and it becomes easy for you to implement. Yes, my dear. Get a microphone. Yes?
Start a business.
To start a business.
A second brand.
Second branch of your business. Okay. You remind me again the business?
We did in menswear, everything men.
Okay.
From
Okay. So the main goal is to start a second branch of the business. That is the main goal. And I'm sure, though you've not shared, you all have your main goals. Do you have one, Martin? Uh-huh.
My main goal this year is to save money to have where I live, my personal place to live.
How much money? Goals are smart. Goals are specific. How much money are you looking to save?
Around 20 million.
20 million shillings. Are we together? I want you, in your mind, you have your own goals, and we're going to do the math with your own goal as a person. Okay? So you have that goal. And then the next question is, do you have the right tools to achieve that goal? We are still in the preamble. We haven't started. Do you have the right tools for that goal? You want to save 20 million shillings. Have you put structures in place to help you achieve 20 million shillings? And what is the timeline for the 20 million shillings? Is it 12 months? Is it 6 months? 12 months. What do you need? How much do you need to put aside every month for 20 million shillings? By the way, put your calculators on the table. We're going to start calculating in a few minutes. How much do you need every single month to put aside? 1.7? Around there? Have you done that? It's now in April. If you see, when you don't, it means that your month's expected put aside increases. Are we together? And when that happens, the goal starts becoming hectic. And when the goal becomes hectic, you quit it. What does that mean? The goal, you must be committed to it. And so it must be realistic. Are we together? Your tools and your goals must be correlating. If your goal is not realistic, you'll give up in the first half of the year. Because it has become heavy. You can no longer take it on. And when the year ends, I no longer make resolutions. Haven't you had those conversations? I no longer make resolutions because I don't achieve them. Who is the problem? The third and fourth, take action and stay focused. The minute you lose the focus, your goal is out of the window. Literally out of the window. And the focus can be lost in 1 month and your goal is gone. Recollecting it requires a mind that is positive. That's why we said the conversation of positive mindset. And finally, it must be consistent. Compounding every single day, every single month. The saving theme is save before you spend. Save before you spend. And the question is, I don't have what to save because my expenses are too many. Save before you spend. If you're earning 4 million shillings, if you're earning 2 million shillings, first remove 20,000, 10,000 for tithe, remove 10% for tithe, 20% for savings. What remains, hustle with it. Hustle with it. We don't care how it's done because people around you don't care if you achieve your 20 million. Do we? Martin, do we care? And the minute you know that people don't care, you stop thinking about being people-pleasing. You will stop it, literally. And stopping it will take us into a conversation of purpose. We are still trying to do what we call problem statement. Where is the problem? Why don't we know our purpose? Why don't we know our identity? How can we make this identity work for us? And that is where we are right now. Now, please move with me. Financial and retirement planning basics. This is why. This is why. Please put your calculators on the table, your phones. I told you this conversation is going to be successful. There is more paper here, Edwin, in case someone misses. Okay. I'm trying to do a quick preamble, combining so many things so that we can go to our main topic. But please stay focused. What car do you want to drive? Which house are you going to be living in retirement? Are you thinking, are you there? We are now in 30 years from now. Are we there? How will your children be? Most of us, they might be still in our care. And how much will that cost? Come back to now. Come back to the present. Come back to the present. Can you afford it, Penny? Can you afford your retirement?
Work harder. Yeah, to see that vision come through.
Can you afford your retirement? Anyone? Yes, Maria, can you afford your retirement? If you start now, you can afford it.
Yeah, I've started.
We are still going to do the math. We are coming back to it. Education, those who have children. How much is school fees now? Miss Faith. How much is school fees if you have children? Preschool. 1 million. 1 million is the medium. My God, preschool, our children are taking how much money? Yes, there are schools which pay 5 million for preschool. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have children, how many of us have children here who are young? 3/4 of almost. And if you don't have yet, you might have. And when you do, they also need school fees. How much is in your education fund? Do you have an education fund? Let's start there. Do you have an education fund? Are you answering some questions? Remember, we have not started conversating about the real reason we are here. And you're already seeing the problem statement. Are we together? If you have 2 children, how much do they need a term? Tori, how much do they need a term? How many terms are in a year? Do the math. You need about 10 million before they tell you they are sick, before they tell you they need shoes, before they tell you the trip to the zoo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have work. And guess what? And we're going to look at what retirement looks like or what it means. Guess what? 30 years from now, your children will still be, most of them, or some of them, might be in your care. And there are people who are older than you right now in your mother's care, or depending on your parents. Are you sure that your child won't be depending on you? Are you certain? Are you? Maria, are you? You're not sure, are you? "15 years from now, most of them will still be in your what? In your care. And as they grow up, they become a bit more. So how much are you planning for your children fund, education fund? It's important to look at those areas and give a target. If you're doing education and you're doing business and you're in a 9 to 5, have you invested in personal growth? You want a promotion, but you've done nothing to guarantee a promotion. Why should they promote you? You have a business. You have not taken any initiative to attend events that talk about personal growth or that talk about your business. They tell you to pay 150K Toya Gala. But guess what? That 150K can cater for that 10 million shilling that person studied for I don't know how long. Have you taken time to know the new trends in your business? But you want to have new customers every day. We have work to do. If you want to start a business, for example, how much capital do you need? Do you have a business plan already? Do you? Those who want to start businesses, do you have a business plan? Do you know how much you need for that business? If today your destiny helper came and said, give me your plan, would you give it? Would you give it? If you don't, then that person goes away and then you stay, what happened? What happened? Preparedness. Preparedness comes from setting goals. When you're setting a goal, you have to take time. Some people just sit in one day and they make goals and walk away. What are you doing? When you make a goal, it must be broken down to the minute level of it. And that doesn't happen in just a day. I want to start a business. What kind of business? You write it. What does it need? This. What does that mean? What do I need to invest in? Who is my audience? Who am I targeting? Will it be online? Will it have a location? Those are things you just don't just write down. You have to do the research, isn't it? Which is why me, when I see people with 5, 10 goals on their table every day, I'm like, what are you talking about? How are you going to achieve 7 goals? When each goal requires a system. And this is a system. I hope you are attentive. If you are, just clap your hands. Good. Okay. So we have outcome. Are we together? We have system. And then we have identity. The system that will help you make goals. Are we together? We are yet to calculate. Just hold your peace. Now, most of us make our goals starting here, going inwards. And this is why they fail. The outcome, I want to have a master's. It's a goal, right? I want to have a master's. This is my goal, but I have not thought about how the master's is going to look like. Which master's? From where? How much? Who's going to teach it? Is it online? Is it offline? What does it require? Is it evening class? Is it day class? Does that interfere with my job? This is a what? The system in place to achieve this goal. Do I have the money to achieve it or not? The identity is, can I actually manage doing the master's? Me as an individual, my identity, can I manage doing the master's? Can I actually look at my identity as a person and know that I'm going to create time? Am I going to be able to read the books? You're making the goal because someone else has made the goal. So the best way to make a goal is to start here, going outwards. Why? Understand who you are first. Am I going to be able to save 20 million? And these are questions you ask yourself. No one is going to ask you that question. Then you say yes or no. Me as a person, my spending habits, can they allow me to save 20 million? I have 4 children. Is it possible to save 20 million? Yes, it's what you want, but is it possible? Are we together on that part? Yeah. And then you say yes or no. Then you say, but I think 20 million might be high or might be low, depending on what you have discovered here. And then you say, okay, now I'm going to put systems in place to create the 20 million. I'm going to save 20% of my pay. I'm going to start a side hustle. I'm going to deliver food for people. I'm going to put a system in place. And when this system is functional, you don't have time to think about the outcomes because they will happen. Are we together? The outcomes, even if you said, I'm going to ignore the outcome side and you focus on identity and systems, this will be a piece of cake. Who's with me? Do like this. Identity, which is what we're going to look at in purpose. Systems, outcome becomes automatic. I'm not saying don't have an outcome. You should know what you want. But your focus should not be on the outcome. Your focus should be on the system in place to help you achieve those outcomes. Now, put your goal down. Is it there on your paper? Is it there on your paper? Let's break it down. Let's break it down. Whichever goal it is, what are the tools to achieve that goal? Do you have them? You're doing it yourself because I don't know what's on your paper. What tools do you have to achieve the goal you've set in place? What are the tools available? And it's okay not to have them. When you don't, it's okay. Just tell me you don't. And then we shall have a different session on that. Do you have the tools? What tools? The tools is the system. The tools is the system to help you achieve that goal. If you want 50 million shillings in your savings account and the system does not accommodate it, reduce it. We are having candid conversations. Reduce it. Now, the goal, the tools. And you as a person, do you think you can consistently is the word, keep on that journey to achieve that goal? Because like I told you, when you miss 1 month, they become 13 months. When you miss 2, they become 14 months. Because now the year becomes. Or if it doesn't become that, it means that the month, if you're targeting to save 4 million a month, you're going to be required to save 6. That's why I said by showing you how much do you have in your trust fund, in your children fund? How much do you have in your retirement fund? How much do you want to have? How does your retirement look like? If that can't let you get there, then maybe we have to restructure our goals. I want you to think about it. Keep that paper in front of you and think about the tools. The system is the most important part of this conversation. If the systems cannot accommodate your goal, if your feet cannot hold your body, what happens? And when you fall, you will be discouraged, demotivated, everything, and then you drop your goals. And then next year you start afresh. The next year you start afresh. Before you know, your children are 5 years and they want to go to P1, to Green Hill or wherever. They want 5 million. You don't have money in their account. And then you start saying, but God, why me? Why me? But did you start early? Did you put systems in place? So put that goal there, put the tools, and then we shall come back to it. Let's go to the next thing. Now, money goes where it is what? Respected. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't respect money, it won't come. Money goes to places where it is respected. How do you respect money? Who knows how to respect money? How is money respected? Anyone? Money likes to go where it is compounded. Huh? Money likes places where they use it to grow. But if all you get is, you get and eat, you get and, we call it black tax, you get and money will not stay. It will go. So money goes to places where it is respect. Invest with an exit in mind. What did I mean by that? What did COVID teach us? Some people were asset rich, but they're in hospital looking for cash. And there's no one to buy the land because you want it to go fast and no one wants to buy it. Are we together? You have to understand how to invest. Asset rich, cash rich. How do you balance the two? How do you balance the two? Because you can have 1,000 assets and the day you want to liquidate one, you won't find a buyer. And then you will grumble in poverty. And disease will kill you because there's no one to give you the 50 million that you need to go to India. There were so many examples that happened in COVID time. People very rich with assets. You have land of worth 100 million and you dispose it for 30 million shillings. Because you want quick, invest with an exit in mind. That's a whole conversation of investment portfolios. And then start where you are. E.g., have a saving account, have a trust fund. Start where you can manage. Penny is doing this, I also want to do the same. You think she cares? People around you care? They don't. Very few care unless they're your accountability partners, unless you share information to that level. Most of them don't care. And the day I realized that, my life became peaceful. Most of us do things thinking someone cares. No one cares. Actually, when you're in poverty, that's when they look at you and like, hey, what happened? Oh, yeah, Bachi. They start pointing what? Fingers. But before, when you're doing well, no one even noticed. So as us who are here, we are here for a purpose. We are here for a reason. How are you going to live here? I want you to think about it. And then when you look at your port 3-5 years from now, what will it be looking like? Remember, consistency is key. Consistency is key. And investing is a process, not a one-time event. You put there your money today and you want tomorrow to become 100 million. How? Which portfolios can give you that percentage? None. None whatsoever. So investment is a process. Nothing is risk-free unless you're doing nothing. Even when you put your money in a bank, it has a risk to it, which is inflation. Do you know that? When you put money in an investment trust fund, today, investments are good, tomorrow they are bad. Today they're giving you 6%, tomorrow they're giving you 8%. So nothing is risk-free unless you are doing nothing. Anyone wants to do nothing here? What does the Bible say about work? Who can tell me? What does the Bible say about work? Come on. Something about work. Yes, Edwin.
It says that I'll bless the works of your hand.
When you don't work, God has nothing to bless. Principles of life. If you don't understand it, don't do it. If you don't understand investment, don't do it. Because tomorrow, if you lose money, you start crying for everyone. What does that mean? Consult. Our previous speaker told us to consult. Ask those who have done it before. Don't invest because someone else is investing. You will lose money. If you don't understand it, don't do it. Apologies. Must be my prayer alarm. Is it yours or mine? Has just a clear understanding of his finances, incomes, expenses, budgeting, debts. You just understand your money. That's where you are. Huh? You just have clarity. If you're that person, just put your hand up like this. You just understand money, that's all. You understand what you have spent. You understand what has come in. You understand the debts you have. And that is where you are at. Okay? Self-sufficiency, second level. Not living paycheck to paycheck. You have more than one source of income. You can save and invest sometimes. Investment means that you can buy land, you have money in a trust fund, you have money that is compounding somewhere. Self-sufficiency, you're just surviving. What we call surviving. You can live, you can pay your rent, you can pay your bills. You have maybe two sources of income. You have a 9 to 5 and you have a business or something. And then you can invest sometimes, not all the time. You're self-sufficient. Are we together? You'll be honest with yourself. Which stage are you? There's what we call breathing room. The breathing room. You have enough money to cover expenses, savings and investment portfolio, and an extra for some leisure. You can spoil yourself a bit. You have a breathing room to do that. You have saved, you have invested, you have paid your bills, and you can travel to Dubai and see some animals and some great things. You have some breathing room. Which level are you? We are still going. Which level are you so far? Stability. And you must be honest with yourself. Our purpose conversation requires honesty because it will be speaking into this. That's why I'm laboring to do a very good preamble. Stability. And we're also chasing time at that. You are secure at this stage. Steady sources of income, 4 and above. Retirement plan is in place. You're putting there some money every month. It is in place. Emergency fund available. Does anyone have an emergency fund here? Emergency fund? Ebigwa bitaraze. Emergency funds must be protected and must have specific objectives. That's a conversation. If I don't have time to go through it today, but you can visit my YouTube channel. I broke down what an emergency fund should be. Emergency fund is running and it should cover you for at least a year if you lose a job today. It should cover you for at least a year in case of anything. So, what does that mean for a year? What are your living expenses? Estimate, Daphne. How much do you spend in a month? About 5 million in your home. Wow, that's a heavy expense. That's a heavy home. Okay, it's being 5 million times 12 months. How much is that? 60 million. Your emergency fund should not have less than 60 million. That's when you can lose a job. That's when you lose a job and you sit back and say, it's okay, let me first breathe. If your home spends 3 million, do the math. Are we listening? The next stage. Flexibility. Who's in the flexibility stage? Here you can make any choice and financial decision without worrying about anything. You can take risks even. What are they building? Who is there? Jude, are you there? Then we have what we call financial independence. Most people throw around the word, I'm financially independent. My friend, what does it mean? You can live comfortably without having to work. Working is a pleasure. Are we together? Financial independence. Working is a pleasure because you want to keep adding on your wealth. And then after that, and money works for you. You set up businesses and money just comes. How much is from this investment? How much is it? You have financial people just working for you and giving you reports. That is financial independence. Yes, they are financially independent. They can live without working. Systems they have put in place are working for them. Are you at that stage? This water is yours, guys. Use water. Hydrate. And then we have what we call abundant wealth. Zuckerberg. They have nothing to do with their money. The other day, Will Smith was talking and saying, sometimes you have bought everything you want in life, you have nothing to buy. And you just notice that money is nothing. I'm telling him, just give me $100,000 of your money. But for him, he has lived his life. There's nothing else he can buy, and he's thinking, what should I do? That's why you call them philanthropy. They go into giving out, helping the poor, doing all sorts of things. They are wealthy. They can afford to do that and still survive for the next 20 years without worry. The stages are over. Where are you? Which stage are you? If you're waiting for another slide, it means you fall under category 1. If you're waiting for another slide, you fall under category 1. Sugar, which one is that? Clarity, you're under the clarity stage. You're under the clarity stage. You understand your finances, the income, the expense, your debts, your targets, your goals. You know them. Our goal from here is to strive to get to number 3 at least. Which number 3 is we should have some breathing room. Let's strive to get to the breathing room level. The breathing room that allows you to do all sorts of things and also have some leisure. From today, strive to be at the breathing room level. Retirement planning. I promised to give a snippet of this when I was pushing this event. Let me do it. Retirement planning, it has nothing to do with you being 60 years of age. Do you know that right now you can be retired? How? Who can tell me how you can be forced to retire right now? Bridget, do that you can be retired right now. Without your consent, by the way. When the time comes and you're forced to retire, are you comfortable? It's about organizing resources. And this requires sacrifice sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, saving for the future requires sacrifice. No one doesn't want to spend and buy a nice car now. We all want them. We all want to dress and look good. But I've told you, as long as you are alive, you're going to grow old. The only way you don't grow old is if you die. And most of us, when we wake up in the morning, we tell God, thank you for the gift of life. Which means we still want to be. So as long as you are alive, you must plan for your future. Even if most of us have, or most people, I don't know, have an excuse. What if you don't die? Have you thought about it? You want me to save 10 million for what? What if I don't even eat it? The excuse is they might not be the ones to consume the 10 million. Are we together? But there's a possibility that you can live longer than anyone else in your home. The Bible says no one knows the day. For as long as we don't have that knowledge, we shall live by faith. It is clear in Philippians. Live by faith. So when you have faith, you are forced to save for the future. How much do you spend on your dressing if you do anyway during the month? Or you call it self-care. What our previous speaker called self-care. How much do you spend on self-care? Your hair, your shoes, your whatever it is. How much do you spend on it? Your nails, if you do. How much do you spend on it? How much do you spend on your child's health if you don't have insurance? Also, insurance is money. It's not free. How much do you spend on emergencies? There are those things that come in. Madam, we don't have milk. Please send some money. We are stuck here. Please do something. How much do you spend on it? If you don't have the exact, put estimates to allow you, do the math later in your mind. Tithe, giving, electricity, water. How much do you spend on utilities? The sink has broken down. Please send us 50K. That falls under emergencies. Okay, let's just stop there. How much is that? Leisure, self-care. Maintenance, because if a car is not maintained, it will break down. It is beyond your earning. How do you sustain it? Multiply that by 20. I used 20 for an estimate. Most of us are here around 30, 28, whichever age it is. At 20 years, you're getting close to that age where people will be saying, oh, no, hire me in the office, and they're thinking, what can you offer? Are we together? When you get your age and add 20 years, I'm hearing deep breathing. I'm just using 20 years as an estimate. But on my next slide, I will show you that you need to use 30 years actually. In actual sense, you should be using 30 years. I'm using 20 years not to create a lot of panic. But in actual sense, you should be using 30 years. How much is that money you're spending in your home? How much is that? I've not talked about you paying your nanny. I've not talked about all those elements. I've not talked about the money you give out for Mabugo. I've not talked about all those things. Do you see the expenses? How much do you need in your retirement fund? Someone just give me a random number of what you calculated. 800 million. 960 million. 1 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, what system are you going to put in place to achieve your 800 million retirement fund? Are we together? Are we learning? Are we thinking? My job today is to make you think, nothing else. Is to trigger your mind that from here, you start thinking differently with money. You start thinking differently with your purpose. You start thinking differently with your passions. Don't just live life aimlessly. It is no longer possible in this economy. How much do you spend on fuel? Did we add it? Yes, we did. So if I do the math from everyone who has talked about, it's about an average of 500 million shillings. And remember, I said it should be actually 30 years, not 20 years. There is what we call inflation. It will eat into that money. Inflation will eat into that money. And then, if you're lucky as well, your interest fund, if your money is in trust fund, it will compound by say 10% or 8%. Where the investment portfolios come in, you must invest wisely. You must choose whether they are passive or active incomes. That is your choice. Which is why I said, if you don't understand it, don't do it. Now remember, this is just retirement. There's education. There is emergency fund. There is today. Because now that's retirement. Then there is today. What you're spending now must come from somewhere as well. So if you're earning 4 million or 2 million, whichever, each bucket must have something of it. Can your income right now accommodate all those buckets? Can your income right now accommodate all those buckets? You need to discover your purpose. And when I was advertising this and people asking me, what do you mean? I'm like, you need to be in the room to understand what I mean. Because I can't explain it to you on the phone. And I will not break it down for you to the letter on the phone on what you need to do to survive. 10 years from now, it's going to get hotter. Let's go on. Okay. It is vital to discover your purpose. And we're getting close to enter into the purpose conversation. It is vital to discover your purpose. Why? There's that joy and fulfillment you get when you're doing something you love doing. You will not even think it's work. You will wake up and do it with a smile. You will wake up and bake with a smile without anyone forcing you, which allows you to get to your goals or to fill those buckets faster. When you wake up on Monday and you're like, oh, my boss has come. What do I do? That job will never be enjoyable. Even when you get that money, you'll not spend it well because you're frustrated. Oh, by the time it comes, you have already taken 1,000 debts. So, more sources of income. Those buckets can only be filled if all of us get at least 4 sources of income. Your purpose can offer you that. Living a purpose-driven life. There was that expectation. It is so exciting. It is so relieving. It is so humbling to live your purpose. And you can build a community around your purpose. A community is people you can engage with, people that can encourage you. You have accountability partners who are in the same purpose that you do. You have a support system, because we can't survive without a support system. Imagine you need something and you have no one to ask. Imagine it. Not just money. Information. Information is power. Imagine you need someone to help you with leadership and you have no one to ask. Because you don't know anyone in leadership. You don't have relationships. You don't have connections. You don't have nothing. How are you going to grow? So when you call such engagements, they're not to do anything. The money that people pay is for the drinks you eat, the food, nothing. That's it. But someone says, why are you charging like this? My friend, I'm not taking any coin from you. I'm doing my purpose. Period. I'm saying come eat, be comfortable, eat your nice lunch, but also learn and engage. And also build relationships. Are we together? Let's get to the next one so that we can move faster. There are things that waste our time. That make us fail to fill these buckets. So many things. And I'm not going to go through all of them because they're not so visible here. This whole thing, I don't know. The color, I used a lot of color in my presentation, and here it's a bit not coming out well. We have, you want to be a perfectionist. Everything is perfect, 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 perfect. You're wasting time doing that. People are making money. Be okay, be normal. You're there, you're lacking priorities. I do this one, I do this one. I take this water, I take the other one. You're not sure what should come first. Even when you're setting your goals, you have to put them in their priority order. Which one is a hierarchy? Are we together? Don't just make goals anyhow. Even when you make a goal of saying, I want to be spiritually stronger, it is not easy. You have to invest time with God. You have to invest time in reading the Word. It is not easy. So every goal you make has some work to be done, no matter how small it is. I want to build my relationships. You have to call that person. You have to check on them. It's not... You're waiting for someone to inspire you. You're wasting time. I'm waiting for a motivational speaker. From where? From where? You have to motivate yourself. You have to wake up and start. We must start. You're doing everything yourself. Muchi cho. And I fall in that category. I want to do everything. It's perfect. It's here. Now I can comfortably leave my children and go without even checking them the whole day. Previously, every minute, how is Jeffrey? But now, because as you grow and you see all these buckets need to be filled, you check in once. How is Tal? They are okay. Move on to go and look for money. If there is a problem, they will reach out because you're the first contact person anyway. Are we together? There's some things that we used to do that now when you look at what you have to do, you think twice. You think twice. And then you're trying to please everyone. People, stop being people pleasers. From today, if you're there and you're pleasing anyone, stop it. It wastes a lot of energy, a lot of time. The way you dress. Stop it. Stop it. Stop procrastinating. If you choose to do something today, do it. Do it now. Because when you push it to the next day, the other day will become longer. And then you're tired. And then you have no time for family. And then you're complaining. In the evening you call, Maria, I'm so tired. I don't have time for... What do you mean? What do you mean? No. And so many other things which I can share with you. That's why I took your emails. Okay? So let's finish this. Let's finish this conversation. This is your 2024 energy. I want to do this. Some people say, do it. Others say, I am so scared. Now, let me tell you something. When you're scared, that's when you move. When you're scared, that's when you step out. I was scared about this event. I'll be honest with you. I am comfortable going where people have already organized themselves, stand up and deliver and walk away. Now I'm doing the work myself. And I said, who will be in the room, God? Who will show up for me? But I said, even when there are 5 people, some called me and said, even if there are 2 people, we shall talk. And those 2 people will tell other 2 people. And then before you know it, it's a chain. If you have a business idea, start working on the strategy. If you want to get into employment, creatively start looking for the jobs every single day. Do the work. When you're scared most, that's when you move. When you're scared the most, that's when you move. We have discovered our problem statement. We have a lot of work to do. We have discovered our targets need to be broken down, our goals. So use that paper to break down your goals. We've discovered that our baskets are many and they cannot rely on our small, meager income coming in for some of us. So in that case, what are we going to do about it? We've discovered another problem. Who remembers it? We've talked about targets and goals and money. People pleasing. We've discovered all those things. Now, how do you ignore all these problems and get solutions? Purpose.